This week, I want to talk about hip bursitis. So if you're a CrossFitter, got pain with squatting, if you're a runner that got pain on the outside of your hip with running, hey, this is a great week to watch this video. Right, so what is hip bursitis, right? A lot of times it's just pain on the outside of the hip, right on the bone. But the biggest thing is I want you to decipher it. Is this coming from your back or is this coming from your hip? So is it painful with running and squatting? All right, hey, it's most likely coming from here. Or is it painful with sitting too much, from being stationary? Hey, it could be coming from your back. So this is specifically for, hey, people who have pain with squatting, with running, localized right here, all right? So we're gonna really focus on engaging your hip a little bit more, less low back core stuff, right? So first exercise is always gonna be mobilizing. Hey, you're used to this. We're gonna increase mobility in that hip so that we can activate the right tissues. So our goal is, hey, engage your glute. So to engage your glute, we need to loosen up the hip. So you're gonna take a thick band like this. You're gonna attach it to a rig, like so, and we call this a joint mobilization, all right? So with the joint mobilization, we're just really opening that joint up to give it room and give it space. So you're gonna be here, put this band as close to your groin as possible and get a good amount of resistance and pressure. So knee at 90, you're here, right? So you're gonna be in this position and you're gonna shift your knee in a little bit like so, getting into internal rotation of the hip. And then you're gonna breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe out, you're just gonna let the band pull that hip and open that joint up. And you can do this about 10 times. So if it's too painful here, you can back off a little bit with the knee bend. But I really want this band, you to relax and let that band pull that hip apart to improve that internal rotation range of motion like so. So we're gonna be here, breathe in and breathe out. And after about 10 reps, you should really feel that hip loosen up and give out. So give this some time. It's a hard one to feel because it's more of a joint opening up like so. So this is the first exercise, increase mobility. So now how do we keep that mobility? We keep that mobility by building strength in that glute, in that hip. So one area of the hip that we like to focus on a lot is your glute. Hey, we have your hip flexors, we have other muscles as well, but the one that we find that is more weak is your glute medius, your glute that's a big external rotator of your hip. So super thick band, it doesn't need to be thick, you can start wherever you need, right above your knees, okay? Like so. Start off with, so we call this the fire hydrant. So, hey, you can hold on if you need, but don't death grip a pole or anything, okay? So I want you to be here, hold on with the finger if you need. But the biggest key with this exercise is to be balanced and left knee bent. You see me hinge forward. So you're gonna see me hinge forward like so that I engage my glute. If I stand up straight, I probably won't feel much. So hinge forward, and then I'm gonna bring my right knee out and back. But the focus here is don't let this standing leg knee cave in. So keep that knee aligned, and then you'll feel that left glute fire. So make sure you get that left glute to fire. If you're getting this right glute, shorten the range of motion here. So I'm barely going far. And then as it gets easier, you can go out farther by stabilizing your left glute. So start small, go out further. But hey, let's say if this causes you a lot of pain, how do you regress this exercise? Hey, you can do this on the floor. So you can be in your hands and your knees, and you can do the same thing. But this time, hey, just go out a little bit like so. Don't rotate your hip or your back, okay? So just a little motion like so, like that. And this time you're gonna feel it in the right hip, right? Or the hip that you're bringing out. And you're gonna have a little hold there. 3, 2, 1, and back. 3, 2, 1, back, all right? So this is a good regression if the standing one hurts, but goal is to progress to the standing one. The last one to give you is like a loading exercise. Hey, we need to get that knee and that hip moving and lunging to, hey, get you back squatting or running, right? So one exercise I like to give is a single leg exercise. Single leg exercises are great for runners, even for CrossFitters, because we don't do enough single leg movements throughout our exercises, or our WODs. So we call this a step back lunge. So you've seen this before, like so, but I want you to hinge forward and make sure you're using your hip and less your glute, unless you're quad, okay? So if I go stand up nice and straight and do a lunge like this, it's more likely I'm focusing on my quad a little bit more. Instead, I want you to hinge just like the fire hydrant and take a step back. You're gonna feel this glute kick in here, and then you're gonna come up into this position. So hinge, and you see I'm not going very deep to start, and come back up. As this gets easier and you're able to engage this, get a little deeper, right? Get more full range of motion, but start small. So you're here, back. So small range of motion, really getting that glute to fire. If you're not able to get that glute to fire, maybe focus on the fire hydrants a little bit more and focus on getting that hinge. Even putting your finger there will help you engage that hip, all right? So small, very specific form, technique, cues I want you to think about here as you're doing this, all right? So you should really feel that glute fire. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this helps. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out.